I made a video a couple weeks ago talking about Star Trek 4 and the potential of it, and would we actually see the Kelvin crew one more time and Chris Pine and crew? And it's looking like we will. It just may be a little while, but there is another Star Trek movie that is being worked on, and that's what we're going to focus on today. You guys really seem to like the Trek news, so we're going to stick with it. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. Remember, I read every single comment on every single video, and I said in the last video, I've been a Trek fan as long as I've been a Star Wars fan, since I was a little kid. So this is kind of personal for me. And this one, we're going to go back in time. That's right. This is the other Trek movie that is actually going to explore the origins of Starfleet and the Federation, humanity's first steps into the final frontier, and possibly a twist that could rewrite Star Trek history as you and I know it. We'll talk about that twist later on in the video, because today I'm going to break down all the latest leaks and rumors and confirmed news about the untitled Star Trek origin story, the one that is being directed by Toby Haynes. And then we'll talk about the theory that could actually change this universe forever. So drop a like and let's start off with what we know. Is this movie for real? Is it real? I mean, longtime Trek fans know that we've been burned many times, right? It's been 9 years since the last film we got, which was Beyond in 2016. And in that time, we've heard so many announcements that never panned out. Remember the one where Chris Hemsworth would return as Kirk's dad? Or the Quentin Tarantino rated R Trek idea? Or the version of by Fargo's Noah Hawley? All of them fell apart in development. Paramount even set a 2020 release date at one point, only to delay and cancel as directors and scripts came and went. I mean, a lot of fans, they're pissed, and they roll their eyes when they see new Star Trek movie news at all, and I get it. And most people, they're cautiously, I wouldn't even say they're optimistic anymore, but I'm here for you. We're gonna get through this. The good news, this one feels different. Paramount officially announced its project at CinemaCon 2024 instead of just leaking rumors. That's a big deal. We have actual names attached to it, and even a production timeline, according to industry insiders. The script is finished, and it's heading for a green light, with hopes to start filming in the first half of 2025, which that's already come and gone, so hopefully that's happening. In other words, the studio is serious. They want cameras rolling. They want this film to happen, right? Well, is it actually going to happen? You might be thinking, well, what about the other Star Trek movie we were promised, the so-called Part 4, Chris Pine and the reboot cast? And good question. The short answer is you can go watch my other video. It's separate, still stuck in the void of development, and Paramount insists that the Kelvin timeline, the fourth film with Chris Pine, and probably the last one, is still in the works and envisioned as the final chapter for that crew, but there's no real movement on it as of yet. It's been years of talk and no action, to the point where even the cast was surprised that it was announced back in 2022. Don't hold your breath on the Pine-led Trek 4, but I do think it will happen. But this origin story, this one is a completely different track. I mean, also to avoid confusion, this is not the Section 31 project, obviously the one that was on TV or any of that. This is a movie. Now, who's running the show on this? The new film has some heavy hitters on board, which is another reason why I'm paying attention. Toby Haynes is set to direct. You might know him as the director of several episodes of Star Wars Andor, also Black Mirror, and Doctor Who. That's good. He's got a knack for this kind of grounded, character-driven storytelling with a sci-fi edge to it. Look at Andor. And it was an interesting choice to me for Trek. The script comes from Seth Grahame-Smith, the writer-producer behind Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, and the Lego Batman movie. Both of those are awesome movies, and he's done other things as well. It's an unusual pairing, but it's intriguing. Haynes' serious tone meets Grahame-Smith's kind of genre-savvy writing. I love it. On the production side, J.J. Abrams is back as a producer through Bad Robot, continuing his role as the Trek movie steward, and there's a new name in the mix. Simon Kinberg is reportedly on board as a producer as well. Now, Kinberg is known for the X-Men films and a lot of other big franchise projects, so his involvement signals to me that Paramount really wants this to be a major blockbuster effort. It's not some side project. They're bringing in people with huge franchise experience. That's good. That's good for all of us. The studio sees it as an expansion of the Trek universe, not just a one-off prequel, and from what we've heard, things are moving along behind the scenes. The script is finished. That's a big deal. Has been making the rounds internally, and if all goes well, Paramount could give an official green light by the end of this year. They even penciled in at late 2025 as a target release. That's obviously not happening now. We haven't even heard about this thing, but that doesn't mean that this thing couldn't come out Christmas time of 2026. The casting, though, that's a big question mark. No cast or even a title has been announced yet. That's likely because they don't want to spoil any story details, and also the script is fresh. But I think we're probably going to get some casting rumors anytime now. Overall, the talent lineup that I've talked about is very, very promising. Now, what do we know about the plot and the setting? Well, there's some early leaks out there, and the studio's keeping most of it, obviously, hush-hush, but the rumors and leaks, I think it gives us a pretty good idea. It's essentially Star Trek Year 1, an origin story from the entire Trek universe. Multiple reports say this film is set decades before the events of 2009's and likely around our modern times or near future. In fact, it will involve humankind's first contact with alien life and the creation of Starfleet and presumably the Federation. If you know the lore, you know that we went up, there was a warp signature seen by the Vulcans, and they came down to meet us, and the rest is history, right? We've seen that, well, I don't even remember what movie that was, maybe Generations? I don't remember, but it was one of the Star Trek Next Generation movies. And I don't know if they're going to go with that route, but that's what we know so far. I mean, it all sounds familiar. Description essentially, I know what it was. It was First Contact, 1996. That was the storyline, right? We had Zefram Cochrane making Earth's first warp flight in 2063. And when he did it, the Vulcans were they just happened to be going by, and that was our first official introduction to aliens. And then everything after that, Enterprise 2001 to 2005, covered the era nearly a century later. So it kind of chronicled Earth's early deep space exploration and the founding of the United Federation of Planets. Now, by the end of Enterprise, they had essentially formed the Federation in 2161 after a war and diplomacy with several species. So you might be thinking, covered all this in canon. And you would be right. But, well, I mean, it's a fair question, but what's been hinted is this angle might be different. One report via the Hollywood Reporter suggests the story is largely set on Earth. That would imply we'll see the ground level perspective of humanity as it prepares to reach for the stars, rather than jumping straight into space adventures. Perhaps the film will explore the aftermath of World War III on Earth, a war that in Trek lore happens in the mid-21st century and nearly wrecks the planet. Maybe we show how humans rebuild, develop the warp drive, come together to form Starfleet. That could mean a much more focused story on political and social drama on Earth as they form the United Earth government and the early Starfleet organization. I mean, think less phasers and starship battles, more how do we avoid destroying ourselves and becoming a spacefaring society. And if that's done well, that could be compelling. And you have the director from Andor. Come on, this could be really good. I mean, I know it's a bold choice. Traditionally, Star Trek is about seeking out new worlds and new civilizations, zipping around the galaxy. But an origin story set mostly on one planet, it would be a big tonal shift, but it could be exactly what this franchise needs. I mean, right now, all the details and everything are what they are. They're just leaks and rumors, so we don't know exactly what's going to happen, but it could be a lot of fun. Now, there's a couple crazy theories out there I want to touch with you guys. Ever since word got out about this Starfleet origin concept, well, the fandom does what it does. On one hand, you have fans who are not exactly thrilled about the idea of a pre-Federation, mostly on Earth Trek film. Some have called it possibly the least appealing option for a Star Trek movie. I mean, whatever, okay. The worry is that it would come off as a low-budget shortcut, like filming in modern-day settings with light, sci-fi, all that stuff. On the other hand, some people are like, you know what? That's intriguing. The success of shows like Andor, which Toby Haynes directed parts of, show that a slower, more methodical, paced-out, character-focused approach to a sci-fi universe can work. It can work in Star Wars. It can work in the Trek universe. Some are genuinely interested in seeing the literal groundwork of the universe, the politics, the societal changes, the first baby steps before the USS Enterprise ever started hopping through galaxies. I mean, that could differentiate itself by diving into the human element of this universe. How do we overcome our divisions? What inspires the creation of the Starfleet Academy? How do the early pioneers handle meeting the aliens? I think it's all really cool questions that they could start something brand new, and it gives you that open-ended, you could literally just reboot in a way and kind of go through it like that. But then you have the canon continuity issues. I get it, but I mean, maybe they choose to time shift or reboot certain events. They could tweak when First Contact happened or maybe present an alternate version of it. I don't know. They're movies. They could figure it out, right? They could do what they want to do. But the point is, this is alive. And it's hopefully happening. And if you're like me, you just want to see, just like Star Wars, I just want to see Trek on the big screen. That's all I want. So let me know what you guys think. I will read every single comment as always, and I'll see you soon.